G'day, welcome to iCultivate. My name's Steve and today we're going to be looking at pruning grevilleas. Grevilleas are probably the most popular Australian native plant grown in gardens today. They're mainly grown for their really showy flowers, of which there are many varieties. But today we're going to be focused on pruning grevilleas, something that doesn't receive enough attention. Many people will plant an Australian native and then think that it's okay to be left for the rest of its life. But if you do that, you're going to limit the quality of flowers and the quality of growth that you're going to get through its life. So let's address a few questions first. Firstly, why prune grevilleas? Well, grevilleas, as mentioned before, are Australian native plants, and particularly if they are growing in their native environment, they can become quite large. And when large, they can become quite leggy and easily break. So we don't want branches breaking uncontrollably. Secondly, the reason why many of us plant grevilleas is because we want that show of flowers. Pruning helps to promote flowering. So the next question, when do we prune grevilleas? Well, the best time to prune grevilleas is mid to late spring. In Australia, of course, we're talking around that October-November time. And the last question, how? Well, let's have a look at that. But before we do that, this grevillea here is one that I pruned about 10 weeks ago. And you can see lots of new growth that has occurred since the pruning, and new flowers as well. That's only after about 10 weeks. So let's get into pruning this particular grevillea here. The good news about pruning grevilleas is that there is no real science to it. It's really just about pruning it to the shape that you like, but with a couple of other little things to consider. So with the shape of this grevillea in mind, let's get into it. You're going to need a number of different tools. Depending upon the size of the branches you're going to cut, a heavy pruning saw, perhaps heavy shears, or alternatively just your standard garden shears. But these are the sorts of tools you will need. Let's get into it. So there we have it. To some that will seem a fairly harsh pruning, but I know that I'm going to be rewarded with some fantastic growth over the coming months. And that growth will also include some wonderful displays of flowers, which is, of course, after all, the reason why I'm growing this plant. And the local wildlife, our birds, and you can hear them around the place, they'll love it as well. In a few months' time, I'll come back and I'll give you another look at this plant, and you can see the benefits that I will have been rewarded with as a result of this pruning. So a few things to remember. Grevilleas can be pruned quite heavily. You can take them back as much as 2/3. In fact, I've even seen them taken back further. Prune to the shape that you desire, but as with pruning with all plants, make sure that you remove as many of those crossing over branches as possible, because branches that cross over, they rub, they wear off bark, and they leave the plant vulnerable to disease. You don't often see grevilleas used as a hedge, but you can see here that, if looked after well, grevilleas can actually form quite a nice hedge. So that's a different way to consider using grevilleas in your garden. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Can I please ask you to go down to the thumbs up and give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and go to our website icultivate.net and join the community. Thanks for watching.